Time for Building Momentum, brought to you by Momentum Advocacy. If your organization, business, or corporation needs to understand the complex nature of our capital, you need to get a hold of Momentum Advocacy. Let's talk about what's going on in Minnesota today.
I don't know who that guy is, but he doesn't need to push me. I've got her, Amy Frederiksen. She is, of course, with Momentum Advocacy, Amy Koch. Amy, thanks for being here. I got a couple things to talk to you about before we get to the big business. First off, is it already the cold front hit? I like the hat. It's going to get really cold this weekend. You look like you're ready for it.
Ready for that, ready for Christmas,
nice.
ready for the whole thing. Yeah, what did I hear? I heard that this is the snowiest beginning to December since like 1905 or 1908, and one of the coldest since like the 70s. So it's kind of nostalgic, really nostalgic winter we've got going.
How does that work for you? Are you one of those that, just give me a cute hat and my coat and I'm going to go play? I'm old enough now, I just hate it. I don't recall hating as much as I do now. This feels like a sucker punch by Mother Nature right to the side of the head.
I'm not quite to sucker punch level yet, but I don't love it. I do dream of getting away to warmer climates, at least for a little while. And then, of course, I'm newly married, and my husband's from Iowa, which I think people would say, oh, he's used to the cold. No, not like what we have here, right?
No.
It's not. You'd be amazed what 4 or 5 hours south does to the weather. It is a difference. So yes, I'm like, I promise this is the snowiest start since before I was ever born.
And things can change. I mean, maybe this thing lightens up, maybe this is our whole winter, but if you look at it now, you still got January, and we're talking double digits below now, and we know January, February can get horrid and snow-wise.
February, March snow with the January cold. It's like, really? It's giving winter.
Yes, it is. All right.
It's really giving winter.
I don't want to keep it all negatrometer, but I want to ask you this because you're a big Viking fan. Was last weekend's J.J. McCarthy's coming out party, I'm kind of hoping for the kid that he put up a 129 quarterback rating. You have to have skills to do that. Not everyone's going to do that, even if it's a bad team. He can still have bad games, but this proved to him that he can play in the NFL.
I don't think one game proves not yes or no, right? And what I worry is that everybody's kind of jumping on the, he's a disaster, he's the real thing so quickly, and so I didn't really he was such the superstar, and we got rid of all these folks, we got rid of our quarterbacks, and everybody was ready to be all about him, and then he had 3 or 4 games that did not pan out. I mean, you have to look at the season in total, and one game for one Sunday. Certainly he's better than you or I or anybody we know. But that was already kind of baked in. That's what his salary says.
On that, though, this is just a child. You think about you and I. What were you doing at 24 when you have an entire state looking at you like every time you threw the ball, you piece of, the pressure of a 24-year-old to handle that is off the charts.
Well, a little bit, but then also 24, I was in the U.S. Air Force, and I was serving with a lot of people that put a lot more on the line. I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not trying to make a thing of it, but I was like, what was I doing at 24?
That's a good point.
Sorry, I was a Russian linguist in the United States Air Force. And I was
You're a bad example, but it was a good question, just the wrong person I asked it to. Okay, fair enough. Let's hope he does well. You think they can win against Dallas on a Sunday night?
I think it's real possible. I think it's going to be an interesting game. It seems like we either get what do you call it? We get Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. With the Vikings this year. This is a real inconsistent. But
all right, fair enough.
Throw to Jefferson. Jefferson, please.
Why? Yeah, that guy. Why even suit him up if you're going to throw him passes for all of 4 yards for the entire game?
It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
I got one last thing. We'll get into big business, I promise you. What is momentum advocacy not into? Where are your tentacles not? And this is on a personal level. So I met the entire staff I don't know if it's the entire staff. I met 5 of you all on a Zoom call thing for a deal, which is fine. All lovely, very nice people. I had Allison on the show for a bit here last week, and when I get off, I thank her for coming on, and she goes, "Oh, Didn't know you were related to Lisa, mayor of Wyoming. And I'm like, well, where'd you get that? Oh, Brian came in, and it's like this. Okay, this is small world. And then last night, my kid's at some fundraiser with his wife. And at the middle of the night, when I say that, it was 10 o'clock, my son texts me, oh, I just met Brian. Brian with Momentum Advocacy. And he's going, like, what the heck? And then Brian sends me a text at like 11, good
Well,
God,
that's
telling me that he just
rude.
met my kid. What? How small a world is this, or where are you guys not?
Well, we are everywhere. That's
Yeah.
the thing. That's our whole job, is to be everywhere and know everyone. So there you go. Thank you for telling me that we're doing our job.
Well, it's a little freakish. To be quite frank, that I've known you for a while. I guess. I mean, I'm stalking each other, but I've known you for a while. But now, once I hook up with the company here and we get you on a regular, now everywhere I turn, there's Brian. All of a sudden,
Wow.
he's he's doing a comedy show. When did I had no clue? All of a sudden, this guy's doing comedy. I'm like, that can't be the same guy, and it is. I mean,
yeah,
showing
he
up.
does stand-up comedy. He started like right before the pandemic. Just try and stand-up comedy. I can't be responsible for him, but everyone else.
Talk about everywhere. I don't know him from Adam. Now I know, and it's kind of that thing. Do you see it? Maybe I've always seen Ryan all over. I didn't know who he was really till I met him on the show. But now he's flipping everywhere. I mean, I expect billboards next. His big face will be on I-94 when I'm driving by.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a little freaky that you guys are at everything.
I will let him know to take it back like 50% for Al. Al's getting a little Brian burned out.
Burnout. It's like, is he following me? I'm looking behind me in cars and seeing if they're following me down the road, because how does he know where I'm at? I mean, I don't want to get him mad at me, but oh my. Anyway, lots going on. On that same line.
Lots going on.
And we'll get into topics themselves because I'm really mad about a lot of stuff today. But I want to ask you, have you seen with the number of turnovers, Driscowski's now out, Tim O'Driscoll's out, all these people are getting out. And maybe that's normal. I think we're a little ahead of normal. But in a year with as much stuff going on, when we get back in February, if you don't know who to talk to or what to do, you're not getting anything done. Is there a bigger time that Momentum Advocacy shouldn't be on your team?
Well, it is going to be something at the Capitol, and I can't know what to attribute the retirements entirely to. There are some folks that have just served for a long time, and they're ready to be done. You could also say everyone's on the ballot this year. So in the Minnesota legislature, every 2 years, the whole House is on the ballot. But every 4 years, the entire House and the entire Senate is on the ballot. And so in this case, if you're a senator and you're wanting to run, you have to look at it and say, okay, I'm committing to another 4 years. So that plays into it some. I have to think that the violence this summer, the assassination of Speaker Hortman and the attempted assassination. Oh, my dog is going crazy, Al. I don't know if you can hear.
It's all right. Very little. It's fine.
And Senator Hoffman plays into it as well. Like, do people really want to serve? It's a time of transition, but I would say it's funny because is it unprecedented? Probably. Was 2025 unprecedented? 100%. But then I can say 2024 was a year like I've not seen. 2023, we spent more money than I've ever seen. Like, one thing you can promise about the legislature, about just government in general, you got to keep your eyes on it, because it's interesting because it moves so slow, and yet it changes everything all at once, and everything's unprecedented.
But back to why you have to have Momentum Advocacy if you want something done. Because you take 2025, we had more special elections by far than ever. So all those people changed out. Now you have the most people resigning for not rerunning.
Yep.
This is
retiring.
Who knows where the bones are in the closet. How do you get from this point to this point? A lot of these people will not know when they get in. This is going to be first time effort for them. It's going to be the Amy Frederiksen's, the Momentum Advocacy, says, I know where this goes and what committee's going to have it, and I know this. You have to now. It can't be, I kind of know people.
No. And even knowing a legislator is great. That's a good start. But they're so busy, Al. If you could know the hundreds and hundreds of bills that they carry and having to keep track of it. And so to decide that, I've got a legislator that likes this, they're even willing to offer a bill. That's just the beginning. Getting them to
Yeah.
agree to author the bill is a beginning.
Yeah.
That doesn't get the bill written. That doesn't
Yeah.
get the jackets on the bill and the jackets
Yeah.
dropped in the committee to hearing. There's a whole lot of steps that, I always say it's a little bit sad that, just the usual citizens trying to follow a bill. It's pretty darn tough. But, we're always happy to help. So,
and that's why you get a hold of Momentum Advocacy. And I think it was 7,000 bills were proposed last session alone. You think you're not going to get lost in the funnel just because your one legislator said, "Oh, that's a good idea." 7,000 of them, people. We got to go to break.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more. We're going to talk about what's actually been passed and where we go from here. I've got her, Amy Frederiksen with Momentum Advocacy.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we bring nearly 90 years of combined experience in government relations, public affairs, and strategic communications. From nonprofits to national corporations, we help organizations navigate Minnesota's political landscape with integrity, insight, and results. Whether you need legislative champions or headlines, Momentum Advocacy delivers. For more, visit momentum-advocacy.com. Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
Another time that I saw someone from Momentum Advocacy in the last 3 days is yesterday on the news. There's Amy Frederiksen talking about what's going on, and it's like, every time I turn you people on, I don't remember what channel it was, but whatever it was, they were asking you about your thoughts about the Republican Party and the number of people that are in. And it was that Mike Lindell had just got in from My Pillow. Truth in Advertising, they advertise on this show. I don't know, Mike. I'm going to give you my honest answer on this. I thought your take was a little interesting. Would you share with us your thought that no one was yelling for Mike?
No, who was yelling for Mike? Only Mike seems to want to have Mike. And what I would say is, and I have been now, I hate to say how many decades, a couple decades involved with the Republican Party. In fact, before I ran so it's been 20 years since I ran for office the first time. And I was involved at my local BPOU in Wright County for 5-6 years before that. So in 25 years, I've never seen Mike Lindell at anything except like a couple like Trump rallies. That's it.
Mhm.
He seems to capitalize on sort of liking his face on the news, and it does seem like he's got enough of a name that when he jumps in, and he also, does some antics that get him some news, but not in a good way, in my opinion. And so I don't know. I don't know advocates. I don't know legislators. I don't know rank and file Minnesota Republicans that are like, you know who I want for my governor? Mike Lindell. He just shows up, makes a statement to the press, and that's it.
Well, he also bought a big van, that big motorhome thing. Let me ask you this.
Right.
Because here's where I differ with you, and maybe I'm wrong, you tell me how. If we're going to have, I think it's 12 Republicans running for that endorsement, right? 12 of them all giving it their best shot, and Mike Lindell's one, and he is buddies with Trump. All that stuff you're talking about, he went down that rabbit hole for Trump. Trump generally doesn't forget his friends. If Trump came out and gave him his an endorsement, would that not be enough for the folks, the Trumpsters, the MAGAs, to say, if Trump wants him, we'll vote for him? You only need 25% of the vote, and you would get that Republican nod. I don't know if that's far-fetched that he doesn't think he can get it if Trump goes his way. Is that weird?
You're saying in like a primary situation.
In a primary situation, yeah.
He's not willing to do the work that's needed to get the endorsement. So
no,
I don't think he's going to vie for that. But also, I'm not convinced that he's that buddy with President Trump.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
I haven't. So that's just, if maybe watch the president will come out and prove me wrong. But I just don't see him getting that endorsement. I don't think the president's going to play in a primary situation here at this point.
Okay.
And if he's banking on that, again, it's not necessarily enough. Like, Minnesota Republican voters are smart. They want to be courted. They want to know what you're going to do for them. And I just don't necessarily believe that they're going to go one way because of that. So. Okay.
And that's fair enough. I want to ask you about a couple articles in the paper that came out. One was 3 days ago, where they mentioned that there's the Star Tribune came out. There's no way there's $1 billion in fraud. This is a crap lie that the president's throwing out. Well, we had Dr. Oz on the show yesterday. He thoroughly believes it. You have the Attorney General, coming in, Thompson, and said, "Oh, it's billions with an S," and the Star wants to run that. Today, they read an article trying to tell you how they came up with the number and why they think it is and what they're really saying. They're trying to make good on why they wrote that, which only made them look more confused and like, you know what I'm saying? What kind of mistake was that to even do the article? Let alone have to do an article to tell you why we did the article.
Well, it was a really big mistake because Channel 11, our local Care 11 did a story, and they added it up pretty fast. They're just like back of the napkin. Here's what we know. Here's what's been prosecuted. Here's what's listed in the documents. We've got it, and that doesn't encompass, Alan. We've touched on this before. So the governor, the administration, the governor just shut down home care licensing for the next 2 years. Yep. My guess is they don't do that lightly. That is going to be a massive, massive issue for folks trying to do home care and provide services for folks with disabilities and others that need it. And let me tell you, they found something. I promise you, they found something. So, so at some point, I think there just has to be a full reckoning and accounting, from the legislative auditor, from someone that will just add it up, stop arguing about these numbers. And by the way, again, I think we talked, was it last week that we talked, Brett Favre. Remember Brett Favre got in trouble speaking? Yeah. He got money for speaking, and then he got some money from TANF, which is basically welfare, for his daughter's volleyball, college volleyball. Okay. How much was that? The total?
Oh, I have no idea.
$5 million for the TANF and $1 million in speakers fees. $6 million. And people were rightfully up in arms, angry. So if this number is 1 billion, if this number is 2 billion, if this number is 999 million, people should be outraged. And it is the largest theft of government money in the history of the United States. And so we need to deal with it.
So back to the article, it made no sense. If you're arguing that it may only be $900 million, I'm missing the point. So one last thing for me, if you can. Any chance with the Minnesota paid family leave, which I believe is absolutely set up to be frauded in every way, is there any chance if the governor turned down the housing one, just turned it off, can he turn this off until the legislature gets back and put some wheels on it, some training wheels on the Minnesota paid family leave? Does he have that power if we put enough pressure on him?
think that he could, because they're, you know, it starts January 1st, session starts February 17th. I think that there would be a way that he could pause it by executive order for a month and a half. But do I think he will? Absolutely not. It is a signature piece of the big DFL trifecta 2023, 2024. And there were changes that could have been brought last session. And with a real split legislature, right? 67 in the House, 34, 33 in the Senate, you could have really gotten some changes through. There's Democrats that want changes in safety guards.
And you think he's willing to take that risk? Because if you start this thing up in 1 year from now or 6 months from now, we're seeing fraud throughout it, that's not going to hurt him?
Yeah, fraud, or even just like, what if businesses are left high and dry because the computer system doesn't work, or people can't get their benefits, or you hear employees that like went on family leave and then didn't get paid for months. It's a real risk. He must feel confident that it's ready. We will all see. We will all see.
Amy, love having you on this show. I'm a little freaked out, but your whole organization following me around for life, but I'll get used to it. They should just knock on the door, come in, we'll have lunch. Thank you for doing this. I love having you on the show. Thank you.
I'll take care of it, Al.
All right.
Thank you.
It's Building Momentum
Happy
with
holidays.
Momentum Advocacy. Happy holidays, you.
And that's another Building Momentum with Momentum Advocacy. Your friends at the Capitol. Join us every other week to discuss all things Minnesota with Building Momentum with Momentum Advocacy.